Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Core Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. This class is styled much like a vinyasa class, and where we give attention to our breath to help us move us through the postures, and you'll notice there's a repetitive in the movement. However, we'll be tying in a lot of exercises to target our core, some traditional yoga exercises as well as regular crunches and such. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. As I'm sure you know, these classes are not live. I can't see what all my students are doing, so I offer lots of modifications to make things a little more easier, to make things a little more difficult. So listen to your body and honor your body in your practice today. And always check with the physician before you start a new exercise regimen. With that out of the way, we're going to jump in with the slow warm-up. And we're going to start on our backs today. So lay down flat on your back, knees bent, feet planted on the floor, and arms out at your side, palms face up. We'll start with some deep breaths. Just deepening your normal pattern of breath. Filling your body with a life force and releasing tension from the body. Go ahead and resume your normal pattern of breathing and draw both knees into the chest, feet side by side. Wrapping the arms across the shins, pulling thighs close to the body. If you feel any discomfort in your knees here, you're more than welcome to hold on to the back of your thighs instead. Whatever feels best to you, honor your body. And we'll take a few breaths here. Decompressing the low back. And gently release and send both feet back to the mat. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling, holding on to the back of the thigh, pressing out through the heel. Moving that stretch down to the back side of the leg. Now pointing through the toes, getting a stretch on the front side of the leg. And now crossing the ankle into figure four. Ankle crosses over left knee, foot is flexed. Allowing for an opening in the hip. This might be plenty sensation for your hip here. You can stay here. If you want to amp up that sensation in the hip, float the left foot off the mat, keeping ankles in line with the knees. And you can hold on to the back of left thigh for some support. And bring your attention to your breath. Letting your breath guide relaxation through the pose. Then return both feet to the mat. Left leg extends up to the ceiling. Start by pressing out through the heel, holding on to the back of the thigh. Pointing through the toes. And cross the ankle into figure four. Staying here or floating right foot off the mat. Feet flexed, ankles in line with knees. Slowly return both feet to the mat. Roll over to one side of your body, all the way over, and slowly press yourself up to a seated position, facing the front of your mat. Rock forward into tabletop, planting your hands and knees on the mat. Knees under hips and wrists stacked underneath the shoulders. Like a dog wagging its tail, we're going to shift our hips side to side, as if you wanted your hips to reach up and touch your shoulders. And we want nice, slow movements. Here we're getting a stretch on the sides of the body, stretching out the obliques. And then pause for a few moments with hips reaching towards the shoulders, activating the sides of our core. And make sure you hold for a few seconds on the opposite side as well. And then release into a neutral tabletop position. Lift up to your fingertips. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, keeping heel in line with hip. Draw the belly in to help flatten the back. Give me a crunch, drawing knee to chest. Now rounding the spine, pulling knee up as high as you can, drawing the belly in and stepping the foot into lunge, ankle below the knee. If you can't do that without using your hands, grab your hand and put the foot into alignment. Slowly lift both arms overhead. Then interlace the fingers and bring them behind the head, elbows pointing out to either side of the room. Right toes right now are facing the back side of the mat, right? We're going to turn those to face the left side of the mat so that my body can now face the right side. Left knee is still stacked over the ankle, and my hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of my mat. Right toes are behind me. Find some length through the sides of the body, out through crown of head. Draw a belly button back to the spine. We're going to tip our elbow towards the knee, again working those obliques, and come back to center. 4 more times, over to the knee, and up. Here's 3. We're warming up our core. 4. And 5. Last one. Turn right toes so that they're facing the back of the mat, and we're shifting our body to face forward. Extend the arms overhead. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Reach through your fingertips. Slowly breathe out through the mouth and bring fingertips down to the floor. Extend left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, and return to tabletop. Right side, right leg extends. Draw the belly in, help flatten the back. And give me a crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, pull the belly in, lift the knee high, and step into lunge. Slowly lift both arms overhead, interlace fingers behind your head. Now, excuse me for having my back turned towards you. This time, left toes are going to face towards the right edge of the mat, and we're turning to face the long edge. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to crunch over to the side. Inhale to return to center. Here's 2, 3, 4, exhale, and 5. Turn to face back towards the front of the mat. Draw the breath in through the nose, extend the arms. Exhale, fingertips to mat. Extend the right leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Keep it active and return to tabletop. Round the spine to cat pose, drawing belly in, tuck chin to chest. Then lift and arch the spine up to the ceiling into cow. 2 more times. Exhale as you round the spine to cat. Inhale to lift and arch. Last time, exhale. Inhale. And return to tabletop. Settle into child's, hips to heels, toes touch but knees separate. Extend the arms down the length of the mat and forehead to mat. We'll finish our warm-up here with a short, brief moment of silence and stillness. Bring your focus to your breath. you're uncomfortable in child's pose, maybe the hips or the knees, rise back to tabletop. Bring elbows to mat and let head relax. For a rest pose, you're either in this pose here, puppy pose, or you're in child's, either or. Slowly rise back to a tabletop position. Lift up to the fingertips. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a crunch, need a chest around the spine, and step the foot into lunge. Tuck right toes onto the mat and lift that knee in the air, lifting up to pointer and middle finger, looking forward, drawing belly in. Step up to half lift, right foot steps up to meet the left, flatten the back, hands to shins. Draw the shoulders down the back, gaze towards the floor. Lower to forward folds, bend the knees, drop belly to thighs, let arms and head hang heavy. You want close contact between belly and the thighs, so bend the knees a little more if you need to make that happen. The point is to protect your low back. Keep the hips reaching high, keep low belly drawing in. One vertebrae at a time will rise up to standing. Take your time, let your chin come up from the chest last. Once you're up and standing, stand nice and tall. Give me a deep breath in through your nose, lift your arms overhead. Exhale your hands down by your sides. So now we're about to kick things up a notch and really start to target our core, pick up our heart rate, warm up our bodies. So I'm gonna start by demoing our core or our plank sequence for the day. Every week there's a new sequence, so I'm gonna demo first and then we'll tie it into the flow together. So usually we start in high plank. This week I'm gonna skip high planks altogether. We're gonna do everything in a forearm plank. Forearm plank, let's talk about the alignment first. Shoulders stacked or elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Hips in line with heels, in line with shoulder. My glutes are on, my thighs are on, my shoulders are broad, I'm lifting out of my shoulders. So it's important that we have good alignment first. We're gonna start in a position with our knees to the floor drawn in. So I always give a countdown before we start. I'll say something like plank sequence in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna step back, and lower the hips into alignment. Step up and up. Knees are on the mat. We're gonna do that 3 times. So in real time, step back, step in, and in. Step back. Don't forget to lower the hips to alignment. Step in and in. Then we'll step back for the last time, coming into our forearm plank. We'll reach forward, and hold for 5 seconds here. After the 5 seconds, we'll lower down to our belly and just let go onto the mat. So we'll start there. If you find that you're tired throughout that sequence, you're more than welcome to skip one of the forearm planks, drop your knees to your mat at any time. Once we've done that a few times, I'll give you an option to kick things up a notch if you so choose to do so. So let's go ahead and start at the top of our mat. We're gonna take some modified sun salutations and tie that core sequence into our work. Feet are hips width distance apart, stand nice and tall with purpose at the top of your mat. Slowly lift the arms overhead and gaze up to the ceiling. Lower to forward fold, drop belly to the thighs, arms and head hang. Rise half lift, flatten the back. Step into plank, so bend the knees. Step back into a plank position and lower to forearm plank and step the knees in. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, step back, step in, and in. 1, back, in, 2, last time. Step in, come into forearm plank, reach forward, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release all the way down. Place your shoulder or your hands underneath your shoulders and point elbows up to ceiling. Draw the legs together. Lift the chest to baby cobra. Make sure you're not pressing into your hands, using the strength of your low back. Then press to child's, hips to heels. A short 5-second breather here. These rests are going to get shorter each time for now, so rise to tabletop and lift up to the fingertips. Extend your right leg behind you, point through toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest around the spine. Step the foot into lunge. Left toes tuck onto the mat. We lift the knee, lift up to pointer and middle finger. Step up to half lift, flatten the back, hands to shins. Lower to folds, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Lift the arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Lower to folds, belly to thighs. Rise half lift, flatten the back, and step into a plank position. Lower to forearm plank, and step the knees in. Starting in 3, 2, 1, step back, in, in, and in. Keep it going. Step in for 2, step back. Step in. Forearm plank. Reach forward, hold for 5, 4, 3, and release. Hands under shoulders, legs together, lift the chest to baby cobra, and press to child's, hips to heels. Even shorter rest for now, about 3 seconds. Deepen the breath, and rise to tabletop. Lift up to the fingertips, extend your left leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step into lunge. Right knee lifts off the mat. Step up to half lift, flatten the back. Lower to folds, belly to thighs, and slowly rise to standing, one vertebrae at a time. This time, let's tie it in with the breath. Draw the breath in through your nose as you lift arms overhead. Exhale out through the mouth as you find your folds, belly to thighs. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank. Resume your normal breath here. Lower to forearm plank and step those knees in. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Step back, step in. Step back, step in. Last time, step back, step in. Come back to forearm plank. Reach forward, holding for 5. If you want to amp it up, keep reaching forward through those 5 seconds. And release. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra. And exhale to child's, hips to heels. No rest this time. Once hips touch the heels, rise right back to tabletop. Lift up to the fingertips. If you want to amp up your crunches, take the hands flat. I'll let you know when crunches are coming up. It's up to you whether you want hands flat or up on the fingertips. Extend your right leg behind you and give me a crunch, knee to chest. Round that spine. Step the foot through into lunge. Lift left knee off the mat and step up to half lift. Draw the breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Draw your inhale out as you rise up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling, reach through your fingertips, and lower your arm down by your side. Reach right arm up, reach through the fingertips, and lower down by your sides. Lift both arms up overhead, gaze up, and lower to folds, belly to thighs. Rise half lift, step back into plank, and drop the knees right to tabletop, knees to mat. We're preparing for some more crunches. Start with the right leg behind you. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest around the spine. Inhale to extend. Exhale. Inhale to extend. Hold this one here, but don't hold the breath. Keep the knee nice and high and get the foot into a lunge position. Lift left knee off the mat, lifting up to the fingertips. Bring your hands to your thigh, lifting the chest upright and extend arms overhead to Anjaneyasana. Right knee stays stacked over the ankle. You're on the ball of the left foot. Open up to the left side of your mat, coming into 5-pointed star. So feet are flat, toes face forward, arms are at shoulder height. Hold your pose here. Now turn the toes out, facing away from one another, and bend the knees into goddess pose, stacking them over the ankle, sending hips down towards the floor. Leaning over to the right, we'll bring the elbow down, extend left arm overhead, reaching through the fingertips, drawing belly back to spine. Inhale to come back through center, arms at shoulder height. Exhale to side bend to opposite side, drawing belly in. Inhale, 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, draw that belly in. Inhale, last time. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Straighten the legs. Turn both feet forward, face the long edge of the mat. Right foot turns to face the front of the mat. Windmill the arms down into a lunge position and step back into plank. Lower to forearm plank and step the knees in. We start plank work in 3, 2, 1. Step back, in, in. Again. Step in. Don't forget to lower those hips into alignment. Step in. Come back to forearm plank. Reach forward. Reach forward. We're holding for 5. Still reaching if you're amping it up. Release down to the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale to child's. A short rest here. Bring the focus to the breath. Slowly rise to a tabletop position, preparing for our crunch. Extend right leg behind you. Draw knee to chest, round the spine, get the foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, knee lifts, back flattens. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, and slowly rise to standing. Reach the left arm up to the ceiling, reach through the fingertips, and lower hand to side. Reach right arm up, reach through the fingertips, and hand to side. Draw breath in to lift both arms overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back into plank, and drop the knees to tabletop. Preparing for more crunches. Extending the left leg this time. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest. Inhale. Exhale to crunch. Last time, breath in and breath out. Holding here, but don't hold the breath. Keep that knee high. See if you can lift it a little higher and step the foot into lunge. Lift up to the fingertips and lift right knee in the air. Bring hands to thighs and extend arms overhead into Anjaneyasana. Few breaths into the chest. Open to 5-pointed star, facing the right side of your mat, feet flat and arms at shoulder height. Turn the toes out and bend the knees into goddess, hips down towards the floor. Take a deep breath in. Lean over to the right, elbow to thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Let's do one more. Draw the breath in. Find the side bend. Draw the belly in. Breath in. Breath out. And back to center. Straighten the legs and turn both toes forward. Left foot turns to the front of the mat. Windmill the arms down into lunge. Step back into plank. Lower to forearm plank and step those knees in. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Step back, in, in. Keep that pace. Keep it going. In. Last time. In. Return to forearm plank. Reach forward. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Inhale to lift the chest, and exhale to child's hips to heels. Take your rest here. Slowly rise to tabletop, preparing for a crunch. Extend the left leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest. Step the foot into lunge. Lift up to fingertips and step up to half lift, flattening the back. Draw the breath in. Exhale to fold, belly comes down. Inhale to standing. Make sure your feet are hips width distance apart. Lift the arms overhead. We're going to sink the hips into chair pose. So I'm sitting my hips back like I'm going to sit in an imaginary chair. I'm keeping my chest lifted, my weight's in the heels. Look down at your toes. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't, send those knees back. We're holding here. Gaze is up to the ceiling. Don't hold your breath. We're working on our core. We're strengthening our legs. And then we release to forward fold, belly to thighs. Gently sway side to side. Then rise back to standing. We're going to take that one more time. Lift the arms overhead. Sit in your imaginary chair. See if you can sit a little deeper this time. Tuck the tailbone under, so don't poke the tailbone out. Look up to the ceiling, holding here. Don't hold the breath. Think about strengthening that core, drawing the belly in, and release to forward fold. Find the gentle sway side to side. And rise to half lift, flattening the back. Step back into a plank position. Lower to forearm plank and step the knees in. This is our last plank sequence of the class. You're more than welcome to skip it if you like. We're stepping out in 3, 2, 1. Step out and out. In. Here's 2. Here's 3. Return to forearm plank. Reach forward. And we're aiming to hold for 15 seconds. This is our last one. I've already started counting. You can keep reaching forward if you like. You can hold steady. You can drop down early to your belly. It's up to you. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Well-deserved rest. Bring your arms along the sides of your body, palms face up. Turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale out through your mouth, relax completely onto the floor. Bring your toes to touch, but let the heels fall out. And bring your focus back to the breath. See if you can feel your heartbeat. Just taking some mental notes. Turn your head to the opposite side. Now bring your chin to the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press to a rounded child's pose. Arms come along the sides of the body, shoulders melt down towards the floor, and forehead rests on the mat. Slowly rise up to a seated position and swing your legs so they're down the length of your mat and you're seated flat on your sits bones. Flex your feet, extend your arms overhead, drop chin to chest, then round the spine into a rounded back stretch, lowering hands to the knees and pointing elbows out to either side of the room. Again, melt the shoulders away from the ears. And take nice deep breaths, drawing your breath to the space you feel the most sensation. Slowly begin to lift the spine upright, coming into staff pose, placing hands on either sides of your hips, finding length out through your spine, up to the ceiling, then relax to neutral. Bend your left knee, placing foot on the mat. Use your left arm to hold on to that bent leg. And belly twist, opening the spinal twist, placing right hand directly behind you, gazing to the back of the mat. Each time you inhale, see if you can lengthen towards the ceiling a bit more. See if belly can draw back the spine a little bit more. And slowly unwind, returning to center and straightening the leg. Left knee bends, foot to floor. Right arm holds on this time as we open the twist, planting our left hand and gazing to the back of the mat. Slowly unwind and return to center, straightening the leg. Step both feet in so they're flat on the mat. Place your hands on the back of your thighs. And one vertebrae at a time, slow and controlled, we're going to roll down until we're flat on our back. And straighten the legs onto the floor. Draw your right knee in towards your chest for Apanasana, holding on below the knee, pulling thigh close to the chest. If that's uncomfortable on your knee, you can hold on to the back of the thigh. Both feet are flexed. If you'd like to open the hip a little bit, you can draw the knee out towards your right armpit, keeping thigh close to the body. Gently release, leg back to the mat. Draw left knee in, thigh close to body and feet flexed. And if you open the hip on the opposite side, do the same here, knee to armpit. Gently release, leg back to the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest, feet side by side, holding on below the knees or on the back of the thighs. And nice and slowly rock side to side. Place your arms along the floor at shoulder height, palms face up, and let the knees fall to the right into reclined spinal twist. Gently turning your head to the left. This is our last pose before our final resting pose. It's a great time to close the eyes and focus on the breath, helping to prepare your body for stillness. Slowly lift the knees back to center and let them fall over to the left, turning head to the right. Draw the knees back to center, and once again, pull them close to your body. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift the head to meet the knees, hold the breath, squeeze the body tight, legs, toes, fingers, arms, space, holding here. And as you exhale out through the mouth, relax and lay flat on your mat, spreading your arms and legs nice and wide, palms face up, toes fall out, and the eyes are closed. Draw your attention to your breath. And we'll settle in here for about a 2-minute rest, letting your body absorb the benefits of the movement, and giving this time to focus on your thoughts. Keep your attention on the rise and fall of your chest. And know that every exhale relaxes your body a little more onto the floor. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back to the body. And slowly roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side. You can use your arm to support your head. And keeping your eyes closed or your gaze lowered to the floor, slowly press yourself up to a seated position. As always, we'll end class with 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we're going to take a 3-part breath. So I'll break the inhale into 3 parts, belly, ribs, and chest. And we'll break the exhale into 3 parts, chest, ribs, and belly. We'll all start on an exhale, so release all the breath you have out of the body now. Start to breathe in through your nose, filling up the belly, filling the ribs, filling the chest. Exhale out the mouth from the chest, from the ribs, and from the belly. Again, in through the nose, filling belly, filling ribs, filling chest, exhaling chest, ribs, and belly. Last time, deep breath into the belly, deeply into the ribs, deep into the chest, and exhale chest, exhale ribs, and exhale belly. Take a second to thank your body and your mind for getting you through this practice today. I'd like to thank you as well for letting me lead you on this practice. There's a light within me that honors the light within you. Thank you. Thanks for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed the class just as much as I enjoyed teaching it. And I just want to say, if you guys happen to hear a lot of scrambling in the background, let me apologize on behalf of my bearded dragon. I don't know what it is about me teaching out here in the morning, but he's super active and wants to get my attention and see what I'm doing, and he's like running around and scrambling about. If you couldn't hear any of that, just pretend like I didn't say anything. If you're looking for this class, just know that I teach core yoga every Wednesday at 8 a.m. It gets aired. You can access it at any time. If you're looking for something a little easier on the body, but still a great stretch, I teach a vinyasa yoga, and that airs every Monday at 8. Don't forget to follow UMBC Rec on Instagram, and as well as on YouTube, UMBC Rec TV, to keep up with our content. I hope to see you next time.